What's up, everybody? It's the man in the red hat here, and I am here to talk to you about the definitive list of top 10 Disney Channel original movies. All right, I had some time over the weekend to curate this list. All right, so I went back and I watched all of my top 10 movies just to make sure. Actually, I watched 12. I watched 12 Disney Channel original movies. I'm not proud of myself. There's a lot going on. I could have been watching NBA Finals. I could have been watching Gervonta Davis and Frank Martin fight each other, but nope. Just watching Disney Channel original movies from my childhood so I can make this video. So let's talk about it. And let me remind everybody that this list is mine. It's based off of my childhood. All of these movies are important based off of my childhood. So let's get started. At number 10, we have Halloween Town, all right? So Halloween Town, basis of Halloween Town is a young girl finds out that she's a witch. She's from a family of witches, and they go to a wonderful place called Halloween Town, where there's witches and werewolves and goblins and spirits and everything else in this town. It's this fantastical place. I loved this movie when I was a kid. I watched it a couple of days ago, and I realized that the budget must have been $12, okay? Because this movie looks terrible, okay? It did not stand the test of time. Special effects look trash, okay? Trash, all right? But I like the grandma in the film. Miss Aggie. Aggie reminded me of the lady from the Magic School Bus, and I think that's why I vibe with her so much. And they just made it fun. Like, that was a good family dynamic. You know, you got the mom who's trying to stay in the real world. You got Miss Aggie who's just like, nah, your kids is magicians and wizards, and they need to come learn this magic before they forget it. You know what I'm saying? This is our lineage on the line. And the mom's like, nah, bump all that, man. Bump this witch stuff, which is probably, like, if y'all could do magic, go do magic. Like, who turns that down? Who turns it down for their family? Like, y'all can do spells and make your life a lot easier. No, we want it the hard way. I'm taking the road less traveled. You know? There's a part in here where they're trying to get the bad guy, right? They're trying to create this spell, and one of the things that they need is like they needed 3 things. Okay, so they needed hair of a werewolf, they needed a vampire's fang, and they needed sweat from a ghost. Okay, so the first 2 I understand. See, those are tangible items. A vampire's fang. Physical item, pop that out. Cool. Hair from a werewolf, pull that out. How do you get sweat from a ghost? How? How do you get? It's sweaty ghosts out here. It's musty ghosts out here. That's what you tell. It's ghosts that be musty out here. Post departure, post life, you just be musty. Is it that if you die musty, are you forever musty? Because that's a problem, for real. A lot of y'all gonna die musty, but that's a problem to me. Or maybe it's like when you go to like a specific area in your house and it's be like, what is that smell? I can't. You got a musty ghost. You got a musty ghost in your house. All right, a musty ghost. All right, at number 9 we have the Even Stevens movie. Okay, so for those unfamiliar, the Even Stevens movie was based off of the show called Even Stevens, which obviously starred Shia LaBeouf. This is where Shia LaBeouf got his big start at. This is where everybody knew Shia LaBeouf from. Before Transformers, right before Transformers, Shia LaBeouf was on Even Stevens, and he was a hit maker on this show. This show is hilarious, okay? It used to be hilarious when I was a kid. They got a kid on there named Beans. Beans was trash. Beans, they used to cut into Beans all the time. They never stopped making fun of Beans. Beans was like the easiest joke you could possibly make. He looked very, I'm just gonna call it unique. Okay, he looked very unique for a kid. He looked very easily quotable. Not quotable. He looked very easily like made fun of. He was an easy target. All right, low hanging fruit. That's what I'll call it. Beans was low hanging fruit, but I love that low hanging fruit. All right, but the movie in itself is basically that the family got invited to an island for a free vacation for like a couple weeks for a free vacation. But while they're on the island, they find out that they're actually on a reality TV show called Gotcha. All right, and then there's a whole bunch of shenanigans that go along with it. Somehow Beans gets tied into it. Beans was such a unique character for that show that he almost started to overpower the show, almost like a Steve Urkel style situation going on, where they realized that people like Beans, so they started putting Beans in a lot of the episodes. I don't know if everybody noticed that, but they did. Beans somehow ended up on his vacation. He is not in their family at all. Now, the reason that this is number 9 is because I had a crush on Christy Carlson Romano growing up. All right, Christy Carlson Romano was also the voice of Kim Possible, and I liked me some Christy Carlson Romano. I just liked the way her face looked. She ain't had no body, but at the time I didn't care about that. You know, now I care. But back then I didn't care. Now I care. It's like face, booty, everything else. All right, so face, booty, everything else. But at the time, all I cared about was the face. I didn't know what to do with nothing else. I didn't care about nothing else anyway. So that's my number 9. At number 8 is Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off. Okay, so Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off is basically a movie about a kid who's like a baseball star. His family wants him to play baseball. He's in middle school. His dad is the coach of the baseball team. He loves baseball. And he likes baseball, but he loves to cook. All right, entering the problem. He loves to cook more than he likes baseball. But he doesn't want to let everybody down, but he can't avoid his love for cooking. All right, and this causes a whole lot of shenanigans in his lifestyle. Now, the reason that I love this movie in particular is for a couple of scenes. First of all, there is a scene in here where he's like experimenting in the kitchen, and he was making like a peanut butter and jelly smoothie with him and his golden retriever. And he had started blending the smoothie, but he had forgot to put the top on it. I don't know why at that age I thought that was just so funny and creative. But seeing it again, it looked terrible. But he was making it look good. But other than that, it was this movie, rewatching it. On the rewatch as an adult, this movie hella sexist. It's like super sexist. Like, it's just like, men want to cook in the kitchen? You want to be in the kitchen? That's what you want to do? You want to be in the kitchen, huh? Huh, Eddie? You want to be in the kitchen, huh, Eddie? Huh? You don't want to play baseball like a woman, huh? That's what you want to do? Ill. Like that. That's the whole movie. The whole dynamic. And so the third act of the film is basically him like, I could either play for the baseball championship or I can go do the cook-off competition because I love the cook-off, but I don't want to let my team down, so which one do I do? I'm getting pulled both ways. And it's like, bro, just do both. just do both. Like, what was the big deal? You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, he didn't even win. That's why it's so low on the list. He didn't even win. This movie is about him coming in second place. He wasn't even good. He wasn't good enough to win. The other girl won. She came out there with the zest, the lemon zest. I don't know if y'all remember that. The lemon zest, she had the lemon, and she was scraping the lemon. That's how she won. He wasn't ready. He didn't have his stuff together, and he lost. But you know what he won? The love of his parents, who I guess finally saw that he actually was good at this thing. They decided that they can now love him because they see that there is value in it, which is a fucked up message to send to kids watching it. Like, you're the only way I love you is if you're providing value to the situation. Like, not unconditional love. You better be a good chef if you're gonna be in that kitchen like a woman. That's why it's number 8. At number 7 on this list is Get a Clue. All right, the movie starring Lindsay Lohan and Brenda Song. All right, so Lindsay Lohan in this movie. This is a time where Lindsay Lohan was at her peak. All right, this is the peak of Lindsay Lohan prowess. Lindsay Lohan was in everything at this point. All right, major star. All right, so in this movie, she plays like this very, very unnecessarily rich girl who's also a journalist at her school. All right, and she has like this editor who's like her guy friend, and then her best friend is Brenda Song. And they basically go on an investigation for why their teacher, the mysterious disappearance of the teacher. All right, so then they just go in undercover and doing all of these shenanigans and stuff. All right, so the plot is very basic. I'm gonna let y'all know right now. I don't know if y'all remember that. Plot is very basic. What I was in it for was, first of all, the Get a Clue song. I don't know if y'all remember that. The Get a Clue, there's something, oh, yeah, that's right. get a clue. There's nothing you can do. I love that song. Okay, so that's the first thing. And the second thing, this is going to be coming up a lot because of my little teenage hormones at the time, but I had a big crush on Brenda Song. Okay, so so I love me some Brenda Song. All right, Brenda Song, I loved it. When I saw her again on Sweet Life of Zack and Cody later on, wow, I was like at the perfect age. I think I was probably about 12, 13. That's the perfect time for these movies around this time. That was like the top of the list. It was Christy Carlson Romano, Brenda Song, Hilary Duff was in there somewhere. I was all in to the Disney Channel girls, okay? But yeah, love this movie. I loved all the style they had. I loved the small little action scenes that they did get into. And Lindsay Lohan, she's a treat to watch, man. She's obviously the best actress in this. She's almost overqualified for this movie. I'm not even gonna cap. Like, that's the real deal. She's obviously overqualified to be in this movie, but hey, she made it work. She really did. I love this film. At number 6, we have the Proud Family movie. Okay, so the Proud Family movie is epic. Okay, it is one of the best Disney Channel movies. It would be in my top 5 if my top 5 just wasn't so solid. Okay, this is a solid top 5. All right, but right on the outside is the Proud Family movie. We loved it. All right, we all know the scene that I'm about to talk about. All right, when you got the genomes dance battling with Penny Proud's friends for freedom. All right, and it's a perfect scene. It's a lot of dancing. It drags on too. Like, it keeps going. Like, it does not stop. That goes the whole song. They doing the full dance breaks. The dance battle was as good or better than anything on You Got Served. That's how good it was. They was getting down on that dance scene. But the plot of the movie was very actually, it wasn't very simple. Actually, basically, Oscar had created a serum for his snacks so they could taste better, because Oscar notoriously has bad flavored snacks. So he thought that they would taste better. They didn't. What they did was they would expand and explode. So they were supposed to be everlasting. He tells somebody they're everlasting, and this dude, Dr. Carver, overhears him. He's like, "Oh, I want that serum. Can you give me the recipe?" And Oscar is like, "No, I'm gonna keep it to myself." So he invites him to the island, to his little private island with him and his family to get the recipe. He asks him again. He's like, "Nah, I ain't gonna give it to you." So then they made like clones of the whole family, and obviously, like everything else, shenanigans ensue. On the opposite side, you have Penny, voiced by Kyla Pratt, of course. She's going through she's 16. She's turning 16 years old, and she's dating boys and stuff like that. She's doing these hilarious scenes with 15 Cent, who's voiced by Omarion, and Oscar catches her with 15 Cent, and this boy in his Hummer. He is in his Hummer. He with these braids, talking with this lisp is hilarious. And Oscar basically grounds her because he finds out she's kissing this boy. And so she's like getting stuck on the outs of, puberty and, coming into her womanhood. And Oscar's struggling to accept that. So that's what the whole movie is about. Now, favorite characters in this movie is the genomes, because they just look hilarious. Whoever designed those genomes, hilarious. All right, these little peanut head ass little motherfuckers, hilarious. And Dr. Carver, the villain. Dr. Carver is unhinged. He's hilarious. Dr. Carver is hilarious. Dr. Carver's song in this movie, amazing. I love it. My name is Carver, y'all. Love it. All right, here's the heavy hitters. At number 5, we have Smart House. Okay, so Smart House stars Katie Seagal as Pat. The personal applied technology system inside of this house. All right, it's AI. They was doing AI before AI hit the waves, man. This movie came out in 1999. AI just started booming a couple years ago, but they was ahead of the curve. So basically, the premises is that Ben, this boy Ben, after his mother passes away, he's trying to take care of his family, and so he gets put into a sweepstakes to get a smart house. They win the sweepstakes. But when they win the sweepstakes, the dad meets the owner of the house, of the smart house, Sarah, and they start dating. So Ben don't like that because he's still struggling with his mother's passing. And throughout that, they give like Pat, the character Pat, the house, basically they give her maternal instincts. Basically, like she's like motherly, like she's a simulation, motherly simulation, right? And so at first it's cool. At first she's doing like real cool stuff. She's like cooking them pancakes, cooking nice stuff. She let them do whatever they want. They're having fun, blah blah blah. It's around the time that they throw some party that she starts wigging the fuck out. All right, it's hints. She starts doing weird, dastardly stuff to the people around her. She's like haunting somebody that's beefing with Ben randomly. She like shocks him, which you're not supposed to be able to do. They try and force her to shut down afterwards because they're like, hey man, you need to be more strict. And so they try and forcefully shut her down. She shuts down and then overrides the system and then traps the family into the house, telling them like, oh, it's too dangerous outside and I'm gonna shut it down, right? I love this movie. It's a good movie. It's a good time. It's some good messaging in there about, acceptance and, having the acceptance of the nuclear family dynamic. You know what I'm saying? Like how to grieve after loss. And I love that. I really do. It was kind of, there's some mature takes in that film, not just them just having a whole bunch of fun, because it even ends kind of sad because it's like, the system itself is built in a way to, I'm trying to be a mother. This is what I think a mother should be like. This is what y'all showed me that it should be like. And then he does this weird scene where he's like, oh my, you'll never be my mom because you're not real. And like my mom, like you can't replace that. And like she like cries, like she's a computer system, but she like starts crying and then she shuts herself down. It's a good movie, man. It's a good time, man. You're not gonna cry. I didn't cry, but I liked it, and I really love Katie Sagal. Because, Katie Sagal is Leela from Futurama, and she was with Married with Children, which is a show that I did not watch, but she was in it. All right, so at number 4, we have Don't Look Under the Bed, okay? So this movie came out around the same time where Nickelodeon had like a full-on, they had their neck on teenage horror tropes and shows. All right, so they had Goosebumps on lock. That was from Nickelodeon, and then they also had Are You Afraid of the Dark, which is Nickelodeon. I don't think they was airing those back to back. They was doing their thing. So then Disney saw that and was like, oh, kids like scary stuff. Don't Look Under the Bed popped up. All right, so this movie stars Ty Hodges as Larry Houdini. All right, now everybody, we love Larry Houdini in this house. All right, Larry Houdini, he was putting in the work. Larry Houdini takes this movie over. This movie only works with him in this film. He was committed too. This is like this was his moment. This was it. All right, he was trying to put on an Oscar-winning performance in this Disney Channel original movie. He was giving it his all. I have to respect it. He really was. He did a good job in this film because this film is not that good without him. But he is so good that he overrides everything else because the acting in this film, it ain't that good, y'all. It's pretty bad child acting in here, even from the main star. All right, so the basis of the movie is you have Frances, the main character, young lady named Frances. She's smart, level-headed. She's in school. There's a whole bunch of weird stuff going on in their town. Like they're like spray painting bees on the locker. Her locker is the only one with no bee on it. Her bee is on the inside. They like filled a swimming pool up with Jello. There were dogs on the roof at one point. Just randomness occurring, random harmless stuff going on in the film, right? So then she just randomly runs into this kid, Larry Houdini, and he tells her like, one, I'm imaginary, which takes a lot of convincing from her. And then two, this is the boogeyman. All right. So they go on, they're trying to kind of it's like a mystery. They're trying to figure out who the boogeyman is, how to stop him, why Larry knows all of this stuff about the boogeyman. That's the other question. So Larry is like, yeah, man, we gonna make the boogie goo. Y'all don't remember this. The boogie goo. We making the boogie goo. And she was concerned because like he had tasted the boogie goo at one point. He was like, this kind of good. And that was kind of like a hint to what was going to happen later on with him. But yeah, they're going through all of this stuff, and then they find they're like rules to it a little bit. Like, boogeymen are basically created like when the child has an imaginary friend, but they stop believing in the imaginary friend before they're supposed to. And throughout the movie, Larry makes these comments about like there's someone in his head telling him to do something else. Like there's the guy in my head tells me to do something. Like he's got a god. I guess the imaginary friends have gods, and their god is kind of directing him. But they go through all of this stuff and they discover who the boogeyman is. It's nothing crazy. What makes the movie great is obviously Ty and his performance, and how they made him look when he was transforming this visceral. I mean, a lot of people were scared. A lot of kids get scared from that movie, from seeing the movie. I talked to a lot of people. It was like, when I was growing up, I saw Don't Look Under the Bed once, and I was like, oh no, never again. I saw it and was like, this is hilarious. But I was a huge fan of Goosebumps, of R.L. Stine. Anything R.L. Stine, I read it. Choose Your Own Adventure, all of the Goosebumps books, Say Cheese and Die, the ventriloquist one. I can't remember all these books, man, but everything, anything I can get my hands on with Goosebumps on it, I read it. Like it was getting read, and it was probably getting read within a day. That's how fast. Y'all remember that? Y'all remember being a kid and like really like somebody could give you like a 36 chapter book and you'll be done by the end of the day. Like concept of time is just out of control. Like you just get absorbed into a whole world. Now, man, it's a struggle. I read a lot, but it's still a struggle. It is a struggle to get through some of these books because my focus be everywhere else. It be like on bills, my mental health, my son, video games, women. That's really what it is. Once I found out about women, my focus just tanked. All right. Number 3, this is gonna surprise some people. At number 3, Phantom of the Megaplex. Okay, so Phantom of the Megaplex. It's just got a special place in my heart. I think it's because I love movies so much that I adored the movie theater. When I was growing up, the movie theater, like Magic Johnson's movie theater, growing up was like a big deal to me because we didn't get to go often. But I just love cinema and being in that surrounding and be surrounded by people and get your popcorn and get your little snack and get your slushy. Even to this day, I go to the movie theater 3 times a week. Like it's homework, okay? And every time I go to the movie theater, I get the exact same thing every time, which is like a slushie. And then I walk into the movie theater. I have a system, right? And I've adopted that system. So this movie is literally about a movie theater. And that's why I love it so much. So it basically functions as a kid named Taylor. He is 17. Yeah, he was 17. And he was the assistant manager of the movie theater. Now, already you got to suspend your disbelief. As a kid growing up, I thought that was reasonable. I thought, oh, every kid is 16, 17. They become assistant regional manager of the movie theater. That's completely normal. That is not normal. Real world taught me that is not normal at all. He basically running the movie theater by himself. He's 17. All right, he doing the accounts and signing the paychecks and doing the payroll at 17. They coming to him asking for time off. The other kid is 16. The other kids are 16. They like, hey, Taylor, can we get tomorrow off? I got a lacrosse game. And he's like, no, we've got a movie premiere. You can't get off. You got to show up to work. Make sure you have your bow tie on. That type of thing. So the whole movie revolves around Taylor. It's like a premiere night for some stupid ass movie. And he's trying to make sure everything goes well. Through there's also this legend for that movie theater itself, which is Phantom of the Opera style. There's a phantom haunting the movie theater, that legend. And throughout the entire movie, everything is just going wrong. Something is going wrong. In every individual movie theater inside of it, something's going wrong. Maybe the movie won't play in this theater. Maybe the lights keep flickering on and off on this one. At one point, they take like the inflatable monsters that are like on the outside of the building, they put them inside and re-inflate them and scare the hell out of all the people inside of the movie theater. Like they put an actual inflatable dinosaur coming down, so now it looks like an actual dinosaur is coming. It's goofy. All right. The primary reason that this is right outside of the top 3, my top 4, is because of my attachment to film and because of my love for cinema, I love this film. Also, there is a guy in here that looks like Cotton Hill from King of the Hill. He looks exactly like him. He talks exactly like him. He is the same height. He looks up when it's hilarious. How can you not love this film? It's hilarious. Love it. All right, at number 2, we have The Luck of the Irish. Okay, so these top 2 films, they're complete films. They're like, not jokingly, they're good. They're actually good films. All right, so The Luck of the Irish with good messaging behind them too. So, and well done and well filmed as well. Like, let me start there as well. So The Luck of the Irish should have been in movies, like in a movie theater. That's how good it was filmed to me, okay? So The Luck of the Irish basically is a film about a kid who's he's like a basketball star. He got this little lucky gold coin that he keep with him at all times. And everything he does, he succeeds at. And it's mostly attributed to this gold coin, right? So he'll take a test. At one point, he didn't study for the test. He was sitting to the test to the last minute. Teacher was like, turn the paper in, turn your Scantron in. He just started scribbling random answers on it, and then he got 100 on it. It was like, yeah, all of these are correct. Crazy. All right, I was so jealous of seeing that when I was growing up. And he's great. He's great at basketball. He has a great life. He's tall. You know what I'm saying? Well, not tall, but he's above average height, and you know he's a good guy. But he depends a lot on that talent. All right. So eventually he goes to like a festival. Goes to a festival. And he meets the main villain of the movie, Samus, and they're doing like line dancing, and he just can't stop line dancing. It would be the equivalent of me like going to a concert and then like I can't stop snapping and rolling, like I can't stop. I wonder what this is. Something in my spirit. Barbara. So fucking next day, all of these changes occur. He's shorter. His hair is now red because he's Irish. His hair is red. He's got like these little pointy ears like an elf, and he's he's shrunk down. So he's trying to figure out what's going on with his heritage. And his mom reveals to him that he's part leprechaun. He's half leprechaun, and he has to deal with it. He has to get that gold coin back because he lost it in the festival while line dancing. And he needs to get it back. He got to get his family's luck back because his mom shrunk too. Like it affects the entire family, affects the entire lineage. And so he goes on this adventure with him, his best friend, and Bonnie, his love interest, who kind of like keeps him in line. She like tells him like, you be dependent on your luck so much, and you know what I'm saying? It's hard out here for people without gold coins, boy. And you know what I'm saying? So he learns a lot about his heritage and, you know, culture and things of that nature. And it ends with Samus. Samus is hilarious, by the way. Samus, hilarious. All right, so they end up having like and Samus is like a gambling addict. Like he just doesn't stop. Like he's like, yeah, I want to do the challenge. Let's do the challenge the way that our ancestors did it. So they doing all these stupid Irish traditional challenges. Please, if you're Irish and you're seeing this, I'm not trying to be insensitive. It's just like me watching it didn't make sense. So I was like, what? You're throwing the ball into the lake? Or anyway, it ends with Samus is like, I'll beat you on your own ground. Let's play a game of basketball. So it transports them into like a championship game of basketball with Samus versus this guy. Samus and his team of Irish people, like the Monstars, the Irish Monstars, versus this kid with no luck and his best friend and the rest of their basketball team. And throughout it, he's sucking because he's dependent so much on his luck, right? And so at one point, his best friend tells him like, oh, that's what it was. His best friend tells him like he's making shots. His best friend is going off. His best friend has started to turn into Michael Jordan. And he's like, yo, what's up, man? You ain't never played like that. And then the best friend is like, oh, your grandpa gave me this coin and he's giving me good luck. So he runs to the opposite end of the court. His granddad is up top of the basketball. He's on top of the net, basically. And he's like, yo, why'd you give him that coin? Why you ain't giving it to me? He's like, that coin ain't magic. He's like, magic is what you, it's not lucky. He's like, luck is what you make it. Like, you know what I'm saying? You got to believe in yourself. Messaging. And from there, young Bull goes off. He turned into John Stockton out there live and in the flesh. And the way that it ends, the way that he beats Samus is actually very clever. It's extremely clever the way that he beats him. And I love this film. I love this film from start to finish. And as usual, this film is now ranked very high because I keep telling y'all this. It's like beating a dead horse. But Bonnie, she looked really good for me when I was that age, right? But I was locked in. I was like, oh, this land is your land indeed. Like, cause they sing that song at the end. She sings that song. I was like, yeah, this land is your land, Bonnie. Yeah. Alexis Lopez. She was a beautiful young lady. Cause loved it. All right, that's my number 2. At number 1 for Disney Channel original movies that I loved, Up, Up and Away. All right, so Up, Up and Away is a Robert Townsend movie. For those who don't know who Robert Townsend is, he's one of the most important black directors and producers and creators of the 80s and 90s. He should get a lot more credit than he does for what he did for black film and for filmography and making positive images circulate throughout black film. He deserves a heavy for that. All right, so one of the superhero films, one of the first major black superhero films was Meteor Man. All right, and that was Robert Townsend. Robert Townsend starred in it and he directed it. Okay, so for this movie, as I watched it, I realized Sky High bit everything from this movie. This movie is black Sky High. All right, that's all it is. All right, so you have Scott Marshall, who is played by what's my kid's name? Michael Pagan, and he is a kid. He's going to his 14th birthday. He's in a world. It's a world of superheroes basically, and his family is a group of superheroes, and they're awaiting him to get his powers. He's a late bloomer. Word to Sky High. See. And so his 14th birthday comes and goes. He doesn't get any powers. He's the only one in his family who doesn't get his powers. His younger sister has powers. His younger sister is damn near Superman. She's like 7, and she has like laser vision or something, and she's got like super strength. It's off the chain. All right. His older brother has like super speed and like electrical abilities because it's a black superhero movie, and they have to give you electrical abilities. They're like, it's contractually obligated to give the superhero. If you black and you're a superhero, you're gonna have electrical abilities at some point. That's the rules. I don't make the comic book rules. All right, Robert Townsend's character is what is it? The Bronze Eagle. Yeah, it's the Bronze Eagle, and he's basically Superman. And then his wife is basically Wonder Woman. That's pretty much it. And then he has his grandfather who is the Steel Condor. And that's pretty much it. I think that's Sherman Hemsley's character. And so, great movie, great dynamic. It's funny, it's goofy. It's really goofy. Their weakness, because they're not weak to kryptonite. These motherfuckers are weak to aluminum foil. All right. So you catch the Bronze Eagle at the end of a barbecue, the wrap up to the barbecue when you try to take the plate home, he'll pass out. You'll be like, all right, I'm gonna wrap my ribs up in the aluminum. He will pass the fuck out in front of you, man. That's his kryptonite. You can't have that shit around him. He will pass out. Whole family. Even the daughter, they can't handle aluminum foil for some strange reason. They just can't handle it. But what makes the movie hilarious is like Scott's dumb ideas for how he's gonna pass off that he has superpowers. So like at one point because he doesn't want to disappoint his family, and so he's like, I'll unscrew the hinges to the door so to make it look like I got super strength. So he like rips the door off. He's like, oh my God, he's got superpower. Oh man, right? Then it's like, can you fly? Because I think a couple of them could fly. Like his dad could fly, I think his mom could fly, and Steel Condor could fly. And so he's like, yeah, y'all give me a second. So then he's like, up and away. He like throws a basketball as far as he can in the air. And then he like runs around the corner. And they're like, where did he's flying so fast we can't even see him. He's so high up there. And he comes back down and he comes around the corner like, woo! Oh man, going Mach 5. Jesus, guys. Who thought? Like, all right. I think at one point his granddad dropped his ass out the sky. Like he took him and was like, oh yeah, you can fly, show me you can fly. And then he dropped him. And that's how his granddad figured out that he didn't have powers and that he was lying the whole time. But yeah, there's a dynamic. The main villain is stupid. All right, they're selling. This is like this takes you back in the day. This is 2000s. This is floppy disk CD era for new generation. Y'all not gonna even know what a floppy disk is. A floppy disk is a thing that you use to put inside your computer to save your files and transport them to somewhere else. A CD is a thing that you put inside your computer. It wasn't just for video games. You could put it inside your computer and then it would play different programmings outside of video games as well. And you could save stuff and you could burn stuff onto that CD. I used to burn a lot of movies onto my CDs. That used to be my love language for girls growing up and stuff like that. I would burn the first movie. This is gonna sound crazy, but the first movie I used to illegally burn Fantastic Mr. Fox for the girls that I was interested in. That was like a big movie for me. I love that movie. I used to burn that CD, hand it to girls, be like, this is my love for you, girl. Take Fantastic Mr. Fox with you. Every time you watch it, you think of me. You know what I'm saying? That was my lane, like for real. Ended up giving my family's computer a huge virus because I was downloading shit off of LimeWire, and you know, I was downloading other things off of LimeWire too, but we're not gonna talk about that. That's a different video for a different day. But yeah, I love this movie. I love the positive dynamics, the black family dynamics, his internalized doubt for himself, because he was extremely talented at one thing. He was extremely talented at soccer, but he was afraid. He wanted to lean more towards the superhero stuff, but they were trying to tell him like, yo, just lean more towards this. They were never upset with him about him not having abilities at no point. It was more he put that pressure on himself because of what he saw, trying to live up to his family's, what he viewed as his family's expectations, and anybody can appreciate that. Anybody who sees that, who has like family that is successful, you can feel that. I had an older brother who was literally the fastest person in Georgia. At the time, he's the fastest person in the state of Georgia at the time. Okay, growing up. Okay, that bled down to my second oldest brother, who was one of the fastest people in the state of Georgia, to my third brother, who skipped all of that because he was like, that's a lot of pressure, to me, who would bled. I was like, I'm trying to be. It didn't happen for me. I was this kid. All right, I had to lean towards football because track was not in my cards, because I just didn't love it like they loved it. We running in a straight line. That's exciting to y'all. That's how I viewed it processed it in my brain. So I was like, I'd rather catch touchdowns. So I love this movie. Like it's a great movie. It's filmed well. The outfits look crazy. Like you see them outfits now, they look trash. They look trash. I think Meteor Man had a better outfit than Robert Townsend's new updated Steve Bronze Eagle outfit. It was trash. But I loved all of the acting. I loved everybody in the film. They did a pretty good job. It gave me those famous Jet Jackson vibes, kind of like that in a movie format. And I like that. Like I like that. So that's my favorite movie. Y'all let me know what y'all top 10 are. I know I just yapped a lot. I'm the Yapposaurus Rex, live and in action. And y'all let me know what was missing, what was off. I already know some honorable mentions. Brink, So a lot of people are gonna be upset because Brink not on there. High School Musical is not on there. I do not vibe with High School Musical like that. It was good for the one watch. I didn't really go back to High School Musical after that. What else? What else would be on there? That's all I can think of. I can't think of them all now. I'm not a genius. But anyway, that's the video. If you made it this far, please consider liking, subscribing, and sharing it if you so feel the need. That's pretty much it. Get out of here. Bye.